Hello, everyone, and welcome to your second Snap Take of the day, and welcome back to High Voltage. Marvel Snap's limited game mode is back for the month, and it comes with a new card once more. We are going to look at today the best High Voltage decks. These are the decks that performed the best in last month's High Voltage because, well, the meta hasn't actually shifted all that much. A lot of the cards kind of were duds this season, so we should still have most of the same best decks. So that's what we're going to spend today's video looking at, or today's second video looking at. We actually had another video this morning where we looked at the number one deck in Marvel Snap, so make sure you check that out if you haven't yet. The new card that we can win in this mode is Dum Dum Dugan. He is a 2/3. Ongoing, your other cards in the front row here have +1 power, which means if he's in the front row, he's a 2/4. If you have two cards in front of him, he's a 2/5. That's not very good. That is, look, a 2/5 is perfectly fine stats, right? But we can get ourselves to a 2/5 a million different ways right now with a million different combinations. A 2/3 that wants to be played late in the game is very, very difficult unless it gets very big. A 2/5 does not make it worth it. I don't think this card is any good or is going to have any home whatsoever. I think this is absolutely a dumb, dumb dud. So I'm very, very sad to say it. Dum Dum Dugan is a really, really cool character. It's a Howling Commando, old Nick Fury World War II character. He's got a ridiculously cool bowler hat, but he's also one of, I think, honestly, the worst cards in the game. The only home I could even see him remotely working in is this Thanos ongoing list. This is Den's update to Derek's list. Derek is currently the number 2 player on the Infinite leaderboard. So, all right, here's how I want to put this. Den is brilliant. Derek is brilliant. This deck is phenomenal. This is one of the best decks in Marvel Snap. I think at worst it's a top 5-ish deck right now. The only thing holding it back is the prevalence of Killmonger. Dum Dum not only doesn't do anything to help stop that Killmonger, it is less power than just running Dazzler. There's almost no situation where you're not going to be able to fill at least 2 lanes with Dazzler, and thus Dazzler will be a 2/6. Dum Dum's top is a 2/5. Dazzler still has upside to be a 2/8. That's it, right? Like, there's no reason to run this card. If you want a tech card there, you can run a card like Gorgon, should you be so inclined, over Dum Dum. And then you have a tech card that's less power, but at least it does something extra. I don't understand why you're running this. Thanos is the only place it makes sense, though, because basically what Thanos allows you to do is make sure this goes in the back row because you have stones to play early. Being able to buff those stones a little bit extra is nice. It's not amazing, but it is nice. I know that they want this card to work with Captain Carter, because if it goes behind Captain Carter, it's going to make her a 4/4, right? Which is going to make him a 2/7, which is all of a sudden good. But that's a lot of extra work. I can do that more easily with significantly better cards. I think that this is a huge, huge miss. Sorry. There is, however, potentially another card coming in this mode in high voltage today. It's Toxie Doxie. It was data mined as an extra card. It was updated in the last patch. You will all know, obviously I'm recording this in advance to make this sure this goes live with the video. We do have a Toxie Doxie review and overview at the end of this video, so if you're curious if Toxie Doxie is actually coming out, let's stay tuned for that. Before we get to the actual voltage mode, please hit that sub button as we try to hit 25,000 subs in 2025. We haven't missed a day of videos in over 2 years. I had my appendix out and we didn't miss a day. We do like 9 videos a week, the most thorough Marvel Snap coverage possible. Please hit that sub, like, and comment. We are also giving away a Captain Carter this week. We've got 2 Captain Carter winners announced later this video. So if you are curious if you won a Captain Carter, please make sure you stay tuned later this video for that. A like, a sub, and a comment on any video enters you to win Captain Carter. There will be a spot to comment to win Captain Carter later this video. All right, so what's high voltage? First, 3 turns, no snaps. Nice and simple. You start with 2 cards and you draw 2 per round, which is a total of 6 cards. Each turn, players get the same amount of randomized energy, 2 through 5, and it compounds, which means turn 1, if you get 5 energy, then turn 2, you get 2 more. You could have 7 energy on turn 2. This is the only way to get Dum Dum Dugan until the new mode kicks in the start of next month. It says Lasher there, sorry, whatever. There should be no new banned cards, or at least we haven't been told there are any new banned cards in the creator program or anywhere else. So we're assuming the same banned cards: Galactus, Magic, Alliance, Gambit, and Black Widow. It'd be really nice if they surprised us and banned some more cards, but I don't expect it to be the case. We are kicking off the Snap Judgments League Season 6 on April 21st. This is a tournament with up to $500 in prizes. Sorry, with not up to, with $500 in prizes. We are sponsored by TopDeck.gg, who are the amazing tournament partners. If you ever want to run a tournament, check out TopDeck.gg. If you're interested in the tournament, though, please hit the Discord linked in the description of this video. Kazoo, high voltage. This is the tied for all right. So there's four decks that had a 60.5 win rate last high voltage season, and two decks that did better. This is the lowest sample size of the 60.5 win rate decks, so we're going to call this sixth place. Zoo is an amazingly consistent list for basically all these extra modes. It was amazing in Diner, it's amazing in Voltage. This is the highest win rate Zoo list that we had on the Marvel Snap Zone tracker. It is a 61% win rate deck. It's really good. It's very consistent. So fundamentally, what you want to do is play and fill the board, right? Your cards like Shauna and Squirrel Girl are going to give you basically a free Mockingbird. If you can get a Kazar or Blue Marvel, you get insanely big. Marvel Boy at the beginning, you can often get like a Marvel Boy and a Squirrel Girl, giving yourself some real power. Everything about this list is all about power. The only real tech you're running here is Shang-Chi, and that's saying like, all right, so at the end of the game, if I can drop Gilgamesh for like 17 points, that usually wins a lane. Shang and another can win a lane, or you can just go so wide that your opponent can't really end up competing with you. This is again the highest win rate of the Zoo versions. For this list, you are going to need Gilgamesh and Mockingbird. Kate and Sam can be extra ones. We're looking at Ebony Maw, we're looking at Iceman, we're looking at Hydra Bob, so on. Gorgon makes some sense here as well. Marvel Boy here can be Captain Carter if you are so inclined. I think Captain Carter has a decent chance at being pretty good in this mode because you should be able to get her in the front, and she does make things really big if you can get her in the front. So let's keep that in mind as we go forward. So what you want to do with this deck is fundamentally play a bunch of ones, scale them up with your Blue Marvel / Kazar / Marvel Boy, play a huge Gilgamesh and basically a free Mockingbird, and if you can get a good Shang target, you should be good to go. Cool. This list is very good in 250 games, but in even more games, we have the Shuri Sauron list. And this is going to be our budget list for the day, because I don't know if you noticed, but there is 000 high series cards in this. This, I believe, is actually the one that I shared last season. So I'm pretty proud of this. This isn't like some new brilliant list, right? But this is the version that I made for Voltage last season and told people to play, and it ended up being really great. So I'm pretty proud of myself and happy about that. This one is a 61% win rate in 350 games, and it is all Series 3. So the coolest thing you can do with this list is you can sort of just pass around early. Like you can go Sauron, and then if you have 6 energy, you can skip, and you can play like Shuri, She-Hulk, and Taskmaster all together at the end because that She-Hulk will be free, which is incredibly powerful. Sometimes you can just go Shuri alone on turn 1, which is obviously amazing. There's enough ongoing everywhere that Enchantress is great in order to counter things, but Enchantress, if you don't see Sauron, also allows you to turn off your Lizard, turn off your Typhoid Mary, turn off your Red Skull. Ebony Maw is absolutely insane in this mode because there's only 3 turns. Ebony Maw can't be played after turn 3, so enjoy yourself. You can't play cards in that Ebony Maw lane after he's played, but if you play him on turn 3, it's not a concern, or if you Sauron or Zero him. Zero is sort of your backup plan to your backup plan here. It's good for Maw, it's good for Lizard, it's good for Red Skull, it's good for Typhoid, but it's not super important. Shuri has several great targets here. You're happy to hit Typhoid Mary, obviously, right? You can also hit Vision for a movable 16 power, 28 power Red Skull, or the aforementioned Shield Taskmaster play. This is a very cool list. This is really close to where Shuri Red Skull was back when it was a meta deck, like 2 years ago now. This was one of the best decks in Marvel Snap for quite a while. And, hey, here it is. It's really cool. Very powerful. All right, our next list, again, we're just going higher and higher on the sample size chain here. This is the ongoing combo in high voltage. Again, a 61% win rate deck. We've got a higher sample here. I think that this is where we're going to want to run Captain Carter. This is how I'm doing my weekend missions this week because Captain Carter tanked my rank last week. I don't think that card is very good, y'all. But this one is basically all ongoing cards, which says Captain America is amazing in triggering them. We'll do replacements after we talk through the deck. Ravonna and Moonstone is very easy to get, and that leaves some absolutely silly Iron Man Mystique combos at the end of the game. Sometimes you can even go like Iron Man Mystique Spectrum. If you're very lucky on turn 1, you can get Sarah out for incredible power, or even Iron Lad, which can hit, anything, even Sarah or Iron Man. Again, your two main goals there. You've got the Sam Wilson and Captain America combo. You're not going to get a million triggers off them, but even the extra little triggers are great. And then Cosmo ends up being sort of game-winningly powerful here if you can get Prio, and Mr. Fantastic is great at helping you with that. Um, if you can get Ravonna Moonstone going, you've got a one cost Mr. Fantastic, a one cost Mystique, and a three cost Iron Man to play at the end of the game, which is crazy strong. Again, I think Captain Carter is probably decent here because Captain America and Spectrum are both so good with him. But yeah, this is going to be a really cool list. This is a 61% in a whopping 750 games. Last time we had Voltage. Sam and Moonstone are your needed cards. I'm going to try Captain Carter and very likely Goliath. If you have them, feel free to add them to this list. I think Goliath is probably better than Mr. Fantastic, although it is relatively close, and I'm going to try Captain Carter in that Iron Lad spot. If you don't have those cards, Super Skrull is a really good Iron Lad replacement for that as well. Super Skrull is basically if this deck is seeing 750 games, right? Super Skrull is just going to win you a reasonable number of games. People really love Gore in this mode too, and Super Skrull is great for that. Next up, we've got Surfer, and this is the last of the 61% win rate decks. This one's also really great. Killmonger's kind of hilarious here because everyone's playing like Ebony Maw and Hydra Bob. Hydra Bob has no downside. So Killmonger says, okay, I'm going to kill that and buff my whole board. Really, really great. You can fairly often do Galacta into Brood into Absorb Man all in one turn, which is crazy powerful. It's amazing to me that the best Surfer list that we have doesn't run Juggernaut because Juggernaut's so good here. But like you've got like turn one Sarah, turn one Gwenpool, turn one Galacta, all of which are insanely, insanely strong plays. You've got Copycat because everyone's running some variations of good stuff. You've got amazing hits for Galacta and Gwenpool with Shaw and Brood. Forge can also do that job. You can remove opponent stuff with Killmonger, wrecking Zoo, wrecking Thanos if that's around, and then you can buff your whole board in the process. You've got a little bit of control in Red Guardian. This list does it all. Surfer is so, so good in Voltage. It's crazy how good real decks are. We've seen what we've seen so far is almost all just real decks that perform really well when you mess with their energy curve. This one, 61% in over 1,000 games, 1,100 games, which is a crazy amount. This deck does need Galacta. Gwenpool, Shaw, and Copycat. We're looking at Captain Carter. Again, Captain Carter seems decent in this mode. Juggernaut and Infinity Ultron and Cassandra Nova and Negasonic. I do think Infinity Ultron is going to be hilarious with Surfer, and I'm very excited to try that in this mode. Again, hopefully getting some weekend missions done in the process. Because Infinity Ultron has also tanked out a bunch of my damn cubes. I don't think that card is amazing. Check this morning's video for a bunch more Infinity Ultron thoughts. If you don't have Red Guardian, you can run Rogue. I am going to find room for Juggernaut. This is very likely to be one of the main decks I play. Hey, I should be live tonight recording a podcast. We're going to do a buyer's guide, a series 4 and 5 cards that you want to consider to buy at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Come check it out. All right, our season pass question is, do you want a Voltage update on Saturday? I'm going to probably do 2 videos Saturday. Do you want me to give you an update on the best high voltage decks? Or is just like, I'll just play these decks, is this enough? Let me know what you think if you would watch on Saturday if I did a second one. Our winners of the season pass are Lucas20, whatever line, 02, and Old Man Nix. Please reach out to me through any of the ways linked in the description to this video in order to claim your season pass. We are again giving away one more at the end of the week. This is the highest, this is the second highest win rate and the highest play rate. I argued with myself about this being number one. Apparently, Patriot just freaking dominates in this mode, and this one isn't even doing anything special. Please note, no Moonstone, no Mystique, no shenanigans. We're just saying we're going to go so wide, good freaking luck. If it works, dear friends. Basically, what we're trying to do is either get Ultron or Shauna. We don't need both here. We're not messing around with any Mockingbird stuff. We're saying we're getting Ultron or Shauna. If we get Ultron, we want Patriot. We get Shauna, we want Blue Marvel Kazar, and we're just going to put up so much power so wide, we're going to win games. Not just win games, 64% win rate in 2,300 games. This does not need any of the high series cards here. Copycat and Zemo can be Juggernaut and Negasonic Danger Warhead. Iron Patriot can be Kate Bishop or Shadow King. Finally, we have the number one list. Good cards, high voltage. This is the only list we've looked at. The only list we've looked at that is a pure voltage list. That is a list built for voltage. And it is weird. It's running a 1, and then it's basically running all the good voltage 3s. Morph, because opponents are generally running only good cards. Juggernaut, because that steals a lane. Negasonic, because if you have Prio, that wins. Baron Zemo, because that basically always gets a Maw, which is a 3/12. We've got Shang-Chi to counter things. We've got Wiccan and Galacta, because if they happen on turn 1, you win. You've got Claw for surprise extra power. Legion for a bunch of scam. Magneto for a clog, and then Ultron to put a bunch of power all frickin' over the place. This one is a 66% win rate in 460 games. Again, I'm not sure if this belongs above the other one, which has a far larger sample, but 66% in 460 is absurd. This deck needs Wiccan. Galactic can be Gwenpool. Galactic is significantly better, but Gwenpool is fine. Zemo can be Patriot, and Legion can be Iron Man or Blue Marvel. If you'd like to see some gameplay for these lists, please check out the stream team. Our friend, the King of Canada, will be live at about 12 p.m. Eastern. Toxie Doxie was updated data mined. We'll see if she comes out now or if she comes out next week with the new system. As a 2/1 on reveal, give 2 cards in your hand plus 2 power. You can't play them next turn. This makes it an amazing play on turn 2 or turn 3 with very specific combos. And it's sort of like a fake Gwenpool. This is also a 2/5, but I think this one's amazing because it has potential to scale. In particular, the way I'd like to try and scale with Toxie Doxie is I want to try and play it with Mysterio. I think Toxie Doxie with Mysterio is very likely an incredible on-curve play. If it hits Mysterio once, you've got a 210 in power, and then you can obviously try and Gwenpool later. You're going to really want to be careful with this, not to hit like a Galactor or Gwenpool, so turn 3 can be dangerous, but playing this on turn 2 or turn 4 both seem absolutely incredible. Turn 4, if you don't have Mysterio in hand, seems amazing. I really, really, really want to try this. This one is from our friend Chamo. He had Iron Patriot in this spot. I just added Toxie Doxie. So Chamo is Chamo92 on Twitch. He's Spanish speaking, but he's a phenomenal player, rank 4 in the Infinite Leaderboard right now. Um, Toxie Doxie is here entirely for Mysterio, but this list is all about sort of ramping and buffing things, right? We've got Elsa Bloodstone, we've got Galacta and Gwenpool, and now we've got Toxie Doxie. We've got a million ways to buff our cards. Any of those buffs are great because basically what we're trying to do is explode on the last turn. So as long as I can make sure to not hit what I want to play on turn 5, on turn 4, we should be totally fine just sort of mixing and matching what we play when. Then Toxie Doxie should be enough of a power buff to make it worthwhile in this list because again you end up playing everything, you end up just exploding out onto the board. I think that this is going to be a very, very powerful upgrade to this list, which is already one of the better lists in Marvel Snap. Almost certainly a top 10 list that gets a pretty big upgrade here. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks. If you're interested, please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. It would mean a lot. First, our patron of the month, thank you to Fat Nick. Then we've got Abigail Keeson, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Neverete, Thinking Poker, Prime Ryan. Check out the Prime Mind app, please. It's on the App Store. It's amazing. Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Kirtixley, Koi Ray, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Perifros, The Goat Seeker, Code, Hollowed, Only Fox, Synth, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extras V, and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Sup Jess, Mr. Slush Death, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kepsi Huda, Luna, Lunacris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Bricks to Click, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Mr. Craig Sterry, Anthony Alfonso, welcome, new friend, Matt V., Corwin, Chunk U, and Jimmy McHugh, keep down, Yist Out, A Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, Reapser, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Mod Supreme Model, Ren Wrench, my favorite Osborne, Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan 56, The Flan Man, The Fuzzy Lump, Spectrumix, Hood, Ocularis, Matt H, DJ, Mikey Hedgings, No Frickin' Flex, Nick Degree Geek, Sup Nicky, Sodrex, The King of Canada, Denman Falcon, Father Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties, The Great Laura Devs, The Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T. The T stands for. All right, that's it. We done today. I'll see y'all tomorrow where I've got like the hour-long top 10 decks that it's more thorough than anyone. So make sure you ring the bell so you don't miss out on that. See you then. Peace.